However, when the lowest and highest earners in the country are compared, the picture changes. Whereas household expenditure is similar in some ways, low-income Americans spend a substantially greater portion of their money on housing, while high-income Americans spend a significantly greater portion on insurance and retirement expenses. If you want to know what distinguishes between a rich person and a poor person, then stay tuned till the end of the video. Compound interest works for the rich and against the poor. The underlying difference in attitude between the rich and the poor is that the rich have grasped a very simple principle: money makes money, and more money makes money. Rich individuals regard money as a source of opportunity, while impoverished people see it as something that must be gained. It is claimed that wealthy people make their money work for them. Rather than simply working and relying on income, a wealthy individual would invest a percentage of their earnings. Compound interest benefits the wealthy. This is due to the fact that it will eventually turn $1,000 into $10,000. Finally, a wealthy individual can opt not to work and instead live off the proceeds of his or her investments. However, most wealthy people work because they enjoy what they do, not because they need money. People who are poor, on the other hand, are said to work for a living. They don't save or invest their money. A poor person regards $1,000 as simply $1,000. A poor individual lives from paycheck to paycheck for the rest of their life. At best, poor people spend whatever they make on things from the rich, whether they need it or not. At the end of the month, they have almost nothing left. True poverty, on the other hand, occurs when people spend money they don't have, accruing credit card debt. The compound interest rate works against the poor by eventually turning a $1,000 loan into a $10,000 burden. Rich people expenditure versus poor people expenditure. Rich people spend their money on needs and what is required rather than what is desirable. For example, if a wealthy individual runs out of milk, he or she will head into Sainsbury's and purchase only a carton of milk. A wealthy individual who has a perfectly functional phone would not need to spend money on a new one. A truly wealthy person is unconcerned about trends. Instead, they are concerned with their net worth. Poor people spend their money on both requirements and wants. A poor individual, for example, who has run out of milk, will leave Sainsbury's with more than simply a carton of milk. A poor individual spends more than they can afford. They are concerned with current trends rather than net value. Poor individuals are concerned with their appearance. Goals. Rich people think long-term. Poor people live on instant gratification. Rich people consider long-term, which is becoming increasingly difficult in our society, which is obsessed with quick satisfaction. Poor people, on the other hand, set only short-term goals, if any at all. They do not perceive the value of long-term goals, such as money for future living expenses. The impoverished are often forced to live paycheck to paycheck. When a crisis strikes, it is practically impossible to make ends meet. A poor person, for example, who was laid off during COVID-19, would suffer greatly from a lack of money. Life would be made much more difficult. Attitude towards risk. Rich people are more likely to take risks. A wealthy individual is more likely to take calculated risks. They can afford to take risks since their assets are diverse. For example, when presented with the option to invest in a startup, wealthy individuals are more likely to assess the risk of the transaction. Rich people see this as an opportunity to grow their wealth if the estimate is adequate. A person who is poor is more prone to be risk-averse. For example, when presented with the option to invest in a business, poor people are more likely to decline. They do not see this as an opportunity to grow their fortune. They perceive this as a decrease in their disposable income. Attitude towards learning. Bonds, equities, and even real estate do not provide the highest compounded return. It is the result of education. Most millionaires in the United States did not become millionaires by accident. Rather, they learned how to accumulate riches. They will gain a better understanding of the world as they study more. The more easily they can link dots, the more money they can make. The wealthy understand that they do not know everything. The wealthy are not scared to seek counsel. They recognize that there is something to be learned from everyone. Poor people dislike studying. They are concerned with immediate gratification. They are concerned with their image and what others think of them. As a result, they don't know what they don't know. They loathe hearing other viewpoints, and they become insecure when challenged. For the impoverished, being wealthy is a pipe dream. They chose to believe the rich are either born rich, malevolent, or exploit the poor because they lack intellectual curiosity to learn. They are oblivious to the fact that they are mostly poor as a result of their life choices. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you share it with your friends before calling it a day.